Hello.
Lance.
Hey everyone. Hey.
Morning and evening, everybody.
Hey Casey. Good morning. We'll give it a little bit more time. Are we still waiting on Sean? I think.
Not sure if we are.
If not, we
We've
don't.
got some conflicting meetings today.
Gotcha. Okay. May not have a DPF update in that case, but
Hey Matt, there's some sound we're getting from you.
hold
Sound
on.
like, I don't know, a fan or something.
My laptop works very hard sometimes, but I don't think that should have been it. Is that better?
Yeah, it stopped.
Okay. We'll go with that then. Cool. Okay. I guess in that case, if we're not waiting on anybody, we can get started. Cool. Welcome everybody. It's good to see everyone again because we took a little bit of a break last month. But I guess we'll catch up on everything this month. Before we jump into everything, can I get somebody to take notes?
I can do it.
Awesome. Thank you, Casey. I can also, I think, share my screen on the notes. Make this a little bit easier.
I'll fill it in. I'll fill it in. Don't worry.
Right. Okay. Okay. Cool. So, oh, it's not even October. I don't even know why I started that. Okay. Cool. So I guess we'll start off with kind of all the check-ins on everything. So I guess first off, we'll chat about the check-ins for 325. So that's scheduled to land before the end of this year. So be on the lookout for that. I think this is a pretty pared down release in terms of like feature work, because we're trying out a bunch of other things behind the scenes, some little build things and things as well. But I think kind of the main things that we're looking to kind of release are some new selector expressions. And those are kind of the stepping stone for us to really adopt admin network policy. So, oh no, signed out. That's, hold on one second.
This is going to happen the next time there's a community. Or
That's true.
I don't remember what the timelet is, but you're going to be signed out for another community meeting too.
Yeah, now I'm on this cadence, so unfortunately we're stuck with it. Sorry, where was I? Oh yeah, yeah, we're going to introduce new selector expressions. So yeah, it's the stepping stone for admin network policy. It's for, I believe, I think shares. Josh, you know more of the details on that, but if I recall correctly, it's for oh no, oh, come on. Okay, I think we're okay. Cool. Yeah, so sorry, keep getting interrupted. Yeah, new selector expressions. So that's kind of one of the things we're targeting. And then kind of the other thing we're looking to do is finalize the Windows host process container install. So basically being able to install anything on, or I guess Calico on Windows with a daemon set, more traditionally, like most other Kubernetes distributions, or yeah, most other Kubernetes versions. So currently, anybody who's a Windows user, that's definitely not how things work. So we're going to go with that, or we're going to make sure that all of that is working properly now that host process containers are GA with Azure. So so those are the, I guess, main things we're looking to release there. There's some few smaller bug fixes and things that I don't have all of the details on at the moment, but we'll be pushing out some other smaller bug fixes as well. So yeah, that should be it for 325. Very short and sweet. I guess kind of the other thing that I want to talk about, at least from the open source side, is Calico 324 patch releases. So we've had a lot of 324 patch releases, and so I think it's only fair to kind of go through, I guess, what's been in them, in case people were wondering, or what, maybe do I need to upgrade my prior 324 version to this. And so I guess the main, I guess, fixes, or the main big fixes, are in 324.4 and 324.5. 324.4, I believe, that's the wrong one. 324.4, I think we had a issue with auto detection methods cycling the interfaces, the network interfaces. So we put out a fix with 324.4 fixes that. Sorry. And so if you see issues with auto detection with VXLAN or WireGuard, or some logs about cycling through a lot of those network interfaces, 324.4 should have those fixes. 324.5 was made specifically to fix some BPF issues. Believe there was, I don't know all the exact details, since I'm not that educated on exactly how all of BPF works, but I think there was a leak with one of the maps, so this will fix that issue.
think that was introduced as one of the bug fixes in 324 as
324.4.
well, right?
I believe so. I think it was one of the. I'm actually not sure which version it originated in. And I think it might have been earlier than 324.4. So yeah. So yeah, I think that's it in terms of, I guess we can also talk about 324.3, which I think was released since our last community meeting. 324.3 fixes a smaller, less critical bug, mostly dealing with patching annotations and labels with Calico Cuddle. So I don't expect a lot of people are using Calico Cuddle anymore. But if you are, and you are patching resources, know that there's an issue regarding kind of annotations and labels that has been fixed up with the release for 324.3. I think in terms of the 323 patch releases we made, I think that most of the fixes there are either similar to the ones made in 324, but most of the real kind of driving factors there updates to a lot of our libraries to make sure that we're up to date on everything there. So I think there's not too much extra to talk about in terms of the 323 patch releases. Cool. I think that's it in terms of those updates. Eric, any updates in operator land?
No, not really. There's been a few issues submitted, and I've got a PR up for one that I've been chatting with Casey about. It's related to IPv6 and being able to configure no node addressed auto detection.
I think I understand your last comment on that. Like right now we have the ability to do this for IPv4, but IPv6 is behaving differently. So
Yeah.
we want to sort of bring them in line with each other. One of the things we talked about, Eric, was adding this new like explicit field for disabling IP auto detection, which I think we might want to do anyway. I think relying on the difference between a nil structure and an empty structure is one that is confusing for even the most experienced YAML experts. So if we can just convert that empty structure to be a structure with a field set in it, that would be a lot simpler to read and write, at least.
Yeah, perhaps I'd want to chat to you about the defaulting we do then based on that. Like if we want to.
Yeah.
Like right now, an empty or a nil one gets defaulted to unset or to first found, but if we defaulted the IPv4 one, we'd want to default an empty string or an empty struct now to the new manual one to maintain.
I mean, yeah, the first step would be keep the exact same behavior semantics that we have today, but change the syntax so that anything that defaults to it being disabled defaults to this explicit option. And then at least that way users can manually opt into the disabled.
Yeah.
And then we can do a second pass to see if there's any of our defaulting that is wrong.
Okay.
It's just an idea. I don't know. I wouldn't go and write that code necessarily just yet, but that's what I'm thinking.
Do you want to do that in that PR, or would you be okay just getting this PR in and backlogging the manual part, the adding manual?
Let me take another look at the PR.
Okay.
It's probably fine to do it in stages.
Let's see, other operator stuff. I don't know. Matt, I'm not.
I put in that PR for topology spread constraints.
Oh, right.
So
And that's
that's
been merged, right?
That's been merged. That it's not in a release yet, but it'll be in the next minor release. So I think that's really just for
API server.
PyFA and API server.
Yeah.
That's just another mechanism for fault tolerance on those components if you want to spread them through different zones in your cluster, whether that be racks or availability zones or what have you.
I was gonna say we had added to spread zones if zones exist in your cluster. So that was kind of a easy thing to add that didn't require any new API. This topology spread constraints was made much easier by the now having our new sections to kind of override like component specific stuff. So we use that new one. That was nice. That made your PR easy versus what it would have been before. But yeah, I don't think I have anything. I don't know. Is there any new? I mean, we can talk about upcoming stuff, but nothing on the quick horizon. Like I got a request to review the design for Windows host process support, the design for that. But yeah, that's going to be. I doubt. Is that? I don't have any idea. Is that targeted for 325? Probably not. If it's well,
that is targeted for 325.
Oh,
so
okay.
yeah, we need to nail all those parts down. So operator support, the stuff that we need to validate on our end in terms of like the node code, things like that. So
yeah, I see. Sorry, I should have paid more attention in the sneak peeks. You said install an AKS, but this isn't. It wouldn't be isolated to AKS, right? I mean, there's nothing.
I don't believe it's necessarily isolated to AKS, but I think that the main support that we're targeting is for AKS.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Cool. And yeah, I guess we don't have anybody to speak for BPF this morning, so I think we'll skip that. I can't necessarily say I can speak about any of the updates or any of the work that they're doing there. So I guess any updates for I guess the VPP team?
Sure. So VPP wise, since last time we've been trying to focus mainly on improving code quality and so basically trying to make the beta shinier and shinier to target GA. We've spent quite some time on scale tests. So both on the functionality side, trying to move the watchers that we were opening on the API to actually go for Felix to reduce the number of open connections and move away from the n square. So having nodes creating a full match between each other. So part of this went in, and we are still working on scale test in general. We also did improvements in CI. So now we have an embryo of an automated CI of our own. We have CodeQL, dependable, and trying to watch those things more and more. And the daily CI that still runs and still breaks. And we are bugging less about that. So thanks again for that. And so as we are trying to move towards more users and then more consumability, we also upstreamed the change that brings in a new configuration, so a new way to express the configuration. We moved to a single config map, so config map a bit in the shape that the Felix config is taking. So having JSON elements that represents the configuration for Calico VP. So the main objective of that was to be able to express the configuration that you want to have on your interfaces in VP more effectively, number of RxQs, the sizes, the drivers, in case you have many interfaces, and in case you want the interfaces in your pod to have specific configurations. So we've posted a small snippet of this on the Slack. If you have any feedback, feel free to do so. So it's a bit sidetracked from the Calico configuration, but if we can make it match to have the same spirit, it's better, I guess. So yeah.
Nathan, you guys said you were working towards to moving from beta to GA. Do you have a timeline, you think, for that?
I guess the question is also on KZ and you guys. So ideally, we would like to target the closest version. So ideally 325. Don't know if it's gonna be it's gonna match the criteria, be good enough to match all the criteria. But ideally, it's as soon as possible. The thing is, so we are targeting more and more usage so people are starting to deploy Calico VP and to test it. So we want also to reach a level internally where we are confident enough that it will hold a bit more than a beta stage, and we're starting to look at having it running for real. So internally, we are also looking at having this for the end of the year. So
I just threw a link to the GA tracker issue, which I'm not sure everybody's seen. It calls out some of the milestones. I don't think we've picked a target release yet, but that sort of shows the status.
Oh yeah. Cool. Sweet. Awesome. Thanks for that. I guess I don't think there are any other areas we need any updates on. So cool. I think that's it for our updates. I think usually after this we talk about hot issues. I don't have anything in particular that we're tracking at the moment, other than I guess some of the more recent issues, in case you want to see the details for kind of what the exact issues look like when you run into, I guess, the problems that we needed to fix for 324.4 and 324.5. Those issues are 6935 for 24.5 and 6927 for 24.4. Let me just throw these in here in case anybody needs to see them, just to make sure that if they're not sure exactly why something's happening and you want to know if these will be fixed or not. I think that's it for all I was particularly tracking.
Yeah, those are the two big ones on my mind as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything else particularly large at the moment, but we'll keep it short there for now. So cool. I guess next we usually talk about Calico Heroes. So I actually don't have anyone prepared for this meeting. So anybody else have any nominations? All right,
We're all villains this month.
No, but it doesn't quite count when you're fixing some things that we broke to begin with. So
Yeah, I'll nominate myself for a Calico villain. I introduced one of those nasty VXLAN bugs by backporting a PR I shouldn't have. So take the blame for that.
It's okay. Good. It was good intentions. Okay, cool. And I guess kind of with the last part here, I guess we have a demo. So one of the things that we've been working on that has been a little bit that hasn't been, I guess, like a major feature with any of our open source releases is we've basically allowed for, I guess, the configuration settings to set up GTSM on Bird. And so we have Josh here who's going to give us a demo of that. So want to take that away, Josh? Let me stop sharing so you can.
Sure, thanks. So I guess I should mention, I think this is going to be available in 3.25, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So let me share on my screen here. Oh, I think maybe I don't have permission to share. Oh, let's see. Uh-oh, I think I can't actually.
Matt might need to turn on.
I know I've had problems sharing in the past with like my Ubuntu settings, so hopefully it's not that.
Let me find it in the settings here. Do I have permissions for this meeting?
I was gonna say it looks like I'm the host, but I mean I can make you a host, Josh. I guess that'll help.
I get whatever will let me share. I guess whatever we need.
All right,
And
try it.
Just before the start, I'm really sorry because I have a conflicting meeting, so I will have to drop at this point. Sorry to abandon you before this. And,
cool. Thanks,
but anyway,
Nick.
thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks for your update. See ya.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like I can't actually. I think this is that issue I have with it's my Ubuntu setting. I think it won't actually let me share anything. Is what it looks like. Let me check here.
Are you on Wayland?
That's what I think. I think might be happening. Yeah.
I think Wayland has a problem with sharing. I think, or that's what I vaguely remember.
I was gonna say I had that problem before, but then updated and I thought it was.
I thought it had been fixed too. Let me just try here. So, oh, okay. I guess it just changed the interface a little bit. Spoiler, I guess I haven't shared my screen in a while. Okay, so you should be able to see my terminal. Can you see my terminal?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, okay, so this is, so I'll just go over quickly, I guess, how we configure GTSM, which stands for the Generalized TTL Security Mechanism, specified in RFC 5082, I think it is. So this is a means of protecting against some kind of, I think it, based on the RFC, it sounds like it's kind of like a DDoS attack against your control plane, like the CPU specifically, from packets that come from outside, from the other side of your peers. So doesn't offer any protections for people who've compromised anything inside your network. But if someone's attempting to kind of like flood one of your peers from outside by, I guess, like spoofing a BGP packet or something, it will help protect against that. So this game is a customer ask from someone running like an on-prem. I'm going to be doing the demo here in just like a public cloud AWS environment, so it's not directly applicable just because I don't know the specific like hop counts between things, but just showing how the configuration gets passed down and configured will kind of give a sense of how it would work. I also don't have any information on how this customer kind of like whether they had a situation that prompted them to ask for it, or whether they just thought up something it could mitigate and they wanted it in case. So unfortunately, I don't have like a cool use case that I could kind of like set up and show it actually mitigating like a fake attack or anything either. So we'll go ahead just and show my nodes here. So currently have like no BGP peerings configured. I'm just going to set up a simple peering between this 142 and this 187 here. And this is what it would look like. So the new field here, the new configuration is this guy, TTL security, and we provided a value. So this is the number of edges or the hop count between the peers. So for back-to-back or directly adjacent peers, it's going to be 1. And this is something too that the RFC, it basically says the majority of the benefit comes from directly adjacent peers. So there is protections, although they basically say it's hard to pin down how much protection you get as soon as they're no longer directly adjacent. It's going to give you some protection, but when you do have multiple edges between, you can specify that here. And this is necessary to make it work with our kind of multi-hop that we've always had configured in our templates. So I'll just go ahead and show here what that looks like on our actual device. So we have no direct peerings, no global or node specific. We do have some mesh happening, and this feature is explicitly disabled. So you can see TTL security off in mesh. And this is because of that requirement that we pass through the value of the hop count. With your mesh peers, you don't always have control over, or you can't have like one singular value that's going to apply to all mesh peers. So we just kind of turn it off. So this is only supported in global and node specific peers. So I'm going to add that BGP config that I just showed now. And then we'll go have another look and we'll see that it kind of was passed through as we expect. So here we see our peering that we set up. Very specifically, we see that it's now on, and we passed through that value to our multi-hop configuration. So this is the value that Bird will use to negotiate with the other side. So also in this scenario, I don't have the equivalent peering configured on the other device. So for this to work, you have to have the same config on both ends so they can correctly negotiate. So in this case, I only really have it on the one node, so this would not work. But presuming I set it up on the other one as well, this would negotiate and everything would be fine. So this is off by default. And so, of course, to disable it, we can always just omit it from our config, or we can explicitly specify a value of 0. So I'll just show that now. And then we see it's now the equivalent to our mesh config, where we still have multi-hop because we've always had multi-hop. We just don't have the value anymore, and then it's explicitly off. And that's basically it. That's all I've got.
Very cool.
Yeah, super nice. Awesome. Thanks for sharing. Cool. I guess, yeah, that's all we had in terms of agenda. So thanks for the demo. And yeah, I guess that's it for this month's meeting. So thanks everybody, and we'll see you guys all next month.
Doodles.